Do you ever wonder why those little aches and pains seem to stick around longer these days? Why a simple morning stroll leaves your knees feeling stiff? Or why your hands just don't move as freely as they used to? It's a question many of us find ourselves pondering as we move past 60, often dismissing it as just part of getting older. But what if I told you that a significant portion of that stiffness, that lingering fatigue, or even that foggy feeling in your head isn't an inevitable part of aging, but rather a quiet, persistent internal battle your body is fighting? We're talking about inflammation, that silent fire that can simmer beneath the surface, gradually eroding your comfort and vitality. It's often fueled by things we put into our bodies every single day, things we might not even realize are contributing to the problem. In this video, we're going to gently uncover 6 surprisingly common foods that might be quietly causing inflammation in your body after 60, and more importantly, we'll talk about simple, practical steps you can take to reclaim your comfort and energy. Make sure you watch right to the very end, because I've got a powerful insight there that might genuinely surprise you and change the way you look at your plate and your health. Let's dive right into the first food category that often goes unnoticed as a silent inflammatory culprit. Yet, it's a staple for so many of us: refined grains and the processed foods made from them. Think about it. That fluffy slice of white bread, the seemingly innocent crackers you snack on, many breakfast cereals, and even a lot of the pasta we grew up loving. When grains are refined, like in the production of white flour, they are stripped of their outer layers, the bran and the germ. These are the parts rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What's left is mostly the starchy endosperm, which is quickly broken down into sugar in your body. This rapid sugar spike is the problem. When your blood sugar levels shoot up quickly, your body has to work overtime to bring them back down, releasing a rush of insulin. Over time, these frequent dramatic spikes can lead to insulin resistance and a state of chronic inflammation throughout your system. It's like constantly hitting the accelerator on your body's inflammatory response without ever letting it rest. You might not feel it immediately, but over weeks, months, and years, this constant internal stress can manifest as joint pain, fatigue, and even contribute to conditions like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Consider your breakfast. Is it a bowl of sugary cereal or a couple of slices of white toast with jam? While seemingly harmless, these choices kickstart your day with an inflammatory surge. Imagine instead starting with a bowl of hearty oatmeal, made with whole, rolled oats, perhaps with some berries and nuts. The fiber in the whole oats slows down the sugar release, preventing that sharp spike and keeping your blood sugar steadier. Or, if you love toast, try opting for a dense, whole grain sourdough or a hearty rye bread. These are often less processed and have a lower glycemic impact. The key here isn't to demonize these foods entirely, but to understand their impact and make more conscious choices. Read labels. Look for whole grain as the very first ingredient, not just wheat flour. Even small swaps, like choosing brown rice over white rice, or whole wheat pasta over regular, can make a significant difference over time. It's about nourishing your body with foods that provide sustained energy and support internal calm, rather than those that spark a fire. Now, let's talk about something incredibly pervasive in our modern diets that quietly, relentlessly fuels inflammation: sugary drinks and all those hidden added sugars. I'm not just talking about fizzy sodas here, although they are certainly a prime offender. I'm also referring to many fruit juices, even those labeled natural, if they're loaded with added sugar. Sports drinks, sweetened teas, and the sugar hidden in so many packaged foods, from yogurts to salad dressings to sauces. When you consume sugar, especially in liquid form, it hits your bloodstream incredibly fast. Your liver then has to work overtime to process this massive influx of fructose. This process can lead to the production of pro-inflammatory compounds and contribute to fat accumulation in the liver. Even in people who aren't overweight, this silent liver stress, combined with the insulin spikes we just discussed, creates a perfect storm for systemic inflammation. Think about that afternoon slump you sometimes feel. It's often not just tiredness, but a rebound effect from a sugar crash, which is itself part of this inflammatory cycle. The impact of these liquid sugars is particularly insidious because they don't provide the same feeling of fullness as solid food, meaning you can consume a lot of calories and sugar without even realizing it, and still feel hungry shortly after. Consider your daily routine. Do you habitually reach for a glass of juice in the morning, a soda with lunch, or a sweet tea throughout the day? Each of these choices is a dose of inflammation. The actionable step here is simple, but it requires awareness. Prioritize water. Make water your primary beverage. If plain water feels a bit bland, try infusing it with slices of cucumber, lemon, lime, or some berries. Unsweetened herbal teas are another wonderful alternative. When you're at the grocery store, become a detective of sugar. Look at ingredient labels for terms like high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, sucrose, and any ingredient ending in O's. You'll be surprised where sugar hides. Gradually reducing your intake of these sugary concoctions can lead to amazing benefits: better energy levels, less brain fog, improved weight management, and a noticeable reduction in those nagging aches and pains. It's about retraining your taste buds to appreciate natural sweetness and discovering how good it feels when your body isn't constantly battling a sugar overload. Moving on to our third significant contributor to quiet inflammation, one that often appears on our dinner plates and in our lunchboxes: processed meats, and, in excess, even red meat. We're talking about things like bacon, sausages, deli meats, hot dogs, and many cured meats. These foods are often high in saturated fats, sodium, and most notably, nitrates and nitrites, which are used as preservatives. When these nitrates are consumed, especially in conjunction with high heat cooking, they can form compounds called nitrosamines, which are known to be pro-inflammatory and potentially harmful. Furthermore, the high content of unhealthy fats in these processed meats can trigger inflammatory responses in the body. Eating an excessive amount of red meat, even unprocessed red meat, has also been linked in some studies to increased inflammation due to compounds like nu-5-GC and hemiiron, which can promote oxidative stress and inflammation in the gut and throughout the body when consumed in large quantities regularly. Think about the convenience of a quick bacon sandwich for breakfast or a couple of slices of ham in a lunchtime sandwich. These everyday choices, when made frequently, add up to a significant inflammatory burden. Imagine swapping out that bacon for scrambled eggs with some vibrant vegetables, or choosing lean grilled chicken or fish for your sandwich instead of processed deli meat. When you do choose red meat, aim for leaner cuts and consume them in moderation, perhaps a couple of times a week rather than daily. Focus on cooking methods that don't involve charring or high heat processing. Instead, try baking, roasting, or stewing. The key here is not necessarily to eliminate these foods entirely if you enjoy them, but to make them an occasional treat rather than a daily habit. Prioritize fresh, whole protein sources like poultry, fish, legumes, and plant-based options. By making these thoughtful substitutions, you're not only reducing your intake of inflammatory compounds, but also making room for more nutrient-dense foods that support your overall health, leading to a happier gut, a healthier heart, and a body that simply feels more comfortable and energetic throughout the day. It's a powerful shift that can subtly but profoundly improve your daily well-being. Moving on to our next significant contributor to quiet inflammation, we need to talk about certain vegetable oils, particularly those high in omega-6 fatty acids, like soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, and safflower oil. These oils are incredibly prevalent in our modern diets, used in almost all processed and packaged foods, from crisps and crackers to salad dressings and baked goods. While omega-6 fatty acids are essential for our bodies, the problem arises when there's an imbalance between omega-6s and omega-3s. Historically, our ancestors consumed these fatty acids in a much more balanced ratio, perhaps closer to 1:1 or 2:1. Today, due to the widespread use of these specific vegetable oils, the average Western diet can have ratios as high as 21 or even 51. This drastic imbalance promotes inflammation. Omega-6s, when out of balance, can be converted into pro-inflammatory molecules, effectively stoking that internal fire we've been discussing. Think about how many times you encounter these oils without even realizing it. That bag of crisps you grab for a snack, the salad dressing you pour over your greens, the fried foods from a takeaway, or even the ingredients in a store-bought cookie. These oils are often foundational. The actionable step here involves both awareness and substitution. First, become a label reader. If soybean oil, corn oil, or sunflower oil are high on the ingredient list of a packaged food, consider choosing an alternative. Second, and perhaps more importantly, adjust your cooking oils at home. Instead of frying with these omega-6 heavy oils, opt for healthier, more stable alternatives that are either low in omega-6 or offer a better balance. Olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil, is a fantastic choice for everyday cooking and salad dressings. It's rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants. Avocado oil is another great option, with a high smoke point and a neutral flavor. Coconut oil, while higher in saturated fat, also has unique properties and can be used for certain cooking methods in moderation. By consciously reducing your intake of these high omega-6 oils and replacing them with more beneficial fats, you are actively helping to shift your body's internal balance away from inflammation and towards a calmer, more harmonious state. It's a subtle change in your kitchen, but one that can have far-reaching positive effects on your cellular health, your joint comfort, and your overall vitality. Next up, a food group that can be a silent inflammatory trigger for a surprising number of people, even if they don't realize it's certain dairy products. Now, it's important to say that dairy isn't inflammatory for everyone. Many individuals tolerate dairy perfectly well and even benefit from its calcium and other nutrients. However, for a significant portion of the population, especially as we age, dairy can cause a range of issues, from digestive discomfort like bloating and gas to more systemic inflammatory responses. The two main culprits are lactose, the sugar in milk, and casein, a protein found in milk. Lactose intolerance, where the body struggles to digest lactose due to insufficient lactase enzymes, becomes more common with age. This can lead to gut inflammation and discomfort. Casein sensitivity, though less common than lactose intolerance, can also trigger an immune response in some individuals, leading to inflammation that manifests as joint pain, skin issues like eczema, or even respiratory problems. Consider your daily habits. Do you add milk to your tea or coffee multiple times a day? Do you enjoy cheese regularly? Or have yogurt as a frequent snack? If you're experiencing persistent digestive issues, unexplained aches, or skin problems, and you consume dairy regularly, it might be worth exploring if dairy is contributing to your inflammatory load. The best way to test this is through a simple elimination trial. Try removing all dairy products from your diet for 2 to 3 weeks. This means milk, cheese, yogurt, butter, and any foods with hidden dairy ingredients like whey or casein. Pay close attention to how you feel during this period. Do your joints feel less stiff? Does your digestion improve? Do you have more energy? After the trial, slowly reintroduce dairy and observe your body's reaction. If your symptoms return, then you've found a potential quiet inflammatory trigger for your body. Fortunately, there are many delicious and nutritious dairy-free alternatives available today. Almond milk, oat milk, soy milk, and coconut milk for beverages, nut-based cheeses, and coconut or soy yogurts. This isn't about deprivation, but about understanding your body's unique needs and making informed choices that bring you greater comfort and well-being. It's empowering to discover what truly nourishes you. Finally, let's talk about a widely accepted social pleasure that, when consumed in excess, can be a significant quiet contributor to inflammation: alcohol. Many of us enjoy a glass of wine with dinner, a beer with friends, or a spirit occasionally. And for some, very moderate consumption might even have certain benefits. However, when alcohol consumption becomes regular or excessive, it significantly burdens the body and fuels inflammation in multiple ways. The liver, which is your body's primary detoxification organ, has to work incredibly hard to process alcohol. This process can lead to liver inflammation and can even damage liver cells over time. Beyond the liver, alcohol can disrupt your gut barrier, making it more permeable. This leaky gut allows toxins and undigested food particles to enter your bloodstream, triggering a systemic inflammatory response throughout your body. Alcohol also depletes essential nutrients, increases oxidative stress, and can disrupt sleep patterns, all of which contribute to a pro-inflammatory state. Think about how often you reach for an alcoholic beverage. Is it a nightly habit? Are you consuming more than 1 or 2 drinks per day while the occasional drink might be fine for some? If you're experiencing unexplained fatigue, joint pain, digestive upset, or struggling with your sleep, it's worth examining your alcohol intake. The actionable step here is to practice moderation and prioritize alcohol-free days. The general recommendation for seniors is often no more than 1 drink per day for women and up to 2 for men. But even less might be beneficial, especially if you're trying to reduce inflammation. Try swapping out your usual alcoholic drink for an elegant sparkling water with a slice of lime, an unsweetened iced tea, or a delicious herbal infusion. You might be surprised at how quickly your body responds when it's not constantly processing alcohol. Your sleep could improve, your energy levels might rise, and you could notice a real reduction in those nagging aches and pains. It's about choosing to give your body a break, allowing it to recover and focus its energy on healing and thriving, rather than constantly battling the inflammatory effects of too much alcohol. We've covered a lot of ground today, peeling back the layers to reveal how seemingly innocent choices, like that fluffy white toast in the morning, that sugary drink with lunch, or even the oils we cook with, can actually be stoking an inflammatory fire within. We talked about how those convenient, processed meats, or even for some, that seemingly harmless dairy, or a nightly glass of wine, might be playing a role you never suspected in your discomfort and fatigue. Understanding these 6 quiet contributors to inflammation, refined grains, sugary drinks, processed meats, certain vegetable oils, dairy for the sensitive, and excess alcohol, is the first crucial step in reclaiming your health and vitality. Now, I know this might sound like a lot to take in, and perhaps a bit overwhelming to consider making changes to long-standing habits. But please, don't feel discouraged or that you have to overhaul your entire life overnight. The beauty of this knowledge is the immense power it gives you. You don't need a strict, complicated diet. Every single small step you take, every mindful choice you make to reduce these inflammatory culprits and introduce more anti-inflammatory foods, sends a powerful message of health and healing to your body. Imagine waking up with less stiffness, feeling more energetic throughout the day, thinking more clearly, and simply enjoying life with more freedom and comfort. That's not just a dream. It's a very real and achievable possibility when you start nurturing your body with foods that fight inflammation instead of feeding it. I've heard countless stories from people just like you, who started by making just 1 or 2 small swaps, perhaps switching out their breakfast cereal for whole oats, choosing olive oil over vegetable oil, or simply drinking more water instead of sugary drinks, and were genuinely amazed by the difference in how they felt. Their joints felt looser, their digestion improved, and they had a newfound spring in their step. And remember that powerful insight I mentioned at the beginning, the one that might surprise you. It's this: the most profound change isn't about what you give up, but what you gain. You gain comfort, you gain energy, you gain mental clarity, and you gain years of vibrant, active living. The surprising truth is how quickly your body can begin to respond to these positive shifts, often within weeks, leading to significant improvements in how you feel, move, and think. You have far more control than you might realize over your own comfort and vitality, simply by making smarter choices at the grocery store and in your kitchen. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and listening to your body's subtle cues. Focus on adding more vibrant, anti-inflammatory foods to your plate. Plenty of colorful fruits and vegetables, fatty fish rich in omega-3s, nuts, seeds, and spices like turmeric. It's about cooking more at home, where you control the ingredients, and rediscovering the joy of food that truly nourishes you from the inside out. I truly hope this conversation has given you some valuable insights and, most importantly, some hope and practical steps you can start taking today. What are your thoughts on these foods? Have you noticed any changes by adjusting your diet? Or do you have any tips that have worked for you? I'd love to hear your experiences and wisdom in the comments below. Your journey can inspire others in our wonderful community. If you found this video helpful and encouraging, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who could benefit from this information. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. We're here to share more practical, supportive advice to help you live your fullest, healthiest life. Remember, your best years are still ahead of you. And with a little knowledge and care, you can truly thrive. Keep exploring. Keep learning. And keep nourishing that incredible body of yours. You absolutely deserve to live your best life at every age.